So we're going to begin by looking at the PlayStation 4. And once it loads up here, you'll see that it's based sort of on the cross-media bar like the PlayStation 3 was. So here you go, it says that I've signed in. You can connect it to Facebook. You'll see at the top of the screen there, that's my Facebook profile picture. So that bar you see, you got NAC, Killzone, Resogun, things like that. If you just leave the icon on there for a second or press down, you get this, which basically shows you an overview of the game, the trophies, what's the latest, what my friend's been doing. You see here I can rate the game. It's set to overview right now, but then there's recent activities and related items. This is where you can see, like, you know, some of my friends who have played the game. But it's very, very simple. The system was clearly designed just, you know, to get you into the game as humanly, well, as fast as humanly possible. So again, I'm just going over some of the features here in the overview for the various games. But you see what I mean? It's really, really simple. Your TV video is there. The only downside I have to this layout, this simple layout, is the fact that over time, this is going to get extremely cluttered with stuff. So that's why in your library that contains your digital downloads. Obviously, NAC and Killzone are disc-based games, so they don't appear there for whatever reason. I haven't quite figured out all of these things just yet. So I like that. I like the fact that you can see what your friends are doing. You have that nice, you know, recent activities, what the overview is. You've got access to the PlayStation Store. Now this is the main thing. This tells you what all of your friends have been doing. It's the What New tab, and it's actually really, really cool. Now if you go up over the main tile, you get the PlayStation Store, notifications, friends, etc, etc, etc. I wanted to show you the PlayStation Store to show you the vast improvement over the PlayStation 3 store. At least for me, I find it much, much more peppy. And yeah, I just give you a quick rundown of what it looks like right now. Nothing too fancy. It's pretty much exactly as it was on the PlayStation 3, except like I said, I find it much faster. And I find the whole interface to be much, much better. Notifications is where everything goes, so that's where you'll see where your game alerts are, if you have invites, downloads, uploads, and general notifications like if you've received a message or whatever. So I'm just quickly going through this. Your friends list is your usual stuff, your messages, party chat. It's really, really simple, gets you to what you want, well, where you want to be really, really quickly. Then settings, I think I go into settings next. I recorded the footage, I'm doing the voiceover after, so you have to excuse me. There is a power button there if you don't want to close it from your controller. This is your general settings, system settings, network settings, and what have you, but this is important because this is your system storage management. This is where you can say where you want your save games to sync, if you want them to sync to the cloud. You can also have your game captures, which you'll see later on in the video. And basic applications are the games. Take a look at NAC and Killzone, for example. It's insane how large these games are. However, if you want to delete these things, it's as simple as pressing the options button on your controller, and away you go. So now we're gonna take a look at Resogun. I'm gonna boot this up, and I'm gonna show you how the multitasking works. It's gonna take a couple seconds just to load up here. So let's just wait for it. This is actually one of the very best games on the PlayStation 4 right now. I love it. I play like complete garbage here because, well, I'm showing you how this works. I'm not really focusing on the game whatsoever. So anyways, once we get in here, I will press the PlayStation button once, which will then take me back to the dashboard or the user interface or whatever you want to call it. But before I do any of that, I believe I activate share to show you how that works. Yeah, so when you hit the share button for the first time, this is what happens. You can broadcast your gameplay to Twitch and things like that. You can upload your video to Facebook, or if you just press it once like what I did, the purpose of it is to activate the share. So now from here on out, it's going to start recording everything I do in this game. So I just play for like a few seconds here. Let's let this do its thing. I don't even remember the controls, that's why I'm like blowing stuff up. I don't even remember what I was doing. But I'm really happy that I can at least capture some footage. You'll notice there's like a little off here and there with a few things, but it's because of the workaround I'm doing. I think it was like a power fluctuation when I switch back into the user interface. Goodness, I don't remember playing that much. Okay, so I just hit the share button again. Go to upload. Now you'll see the two different videos. So I have the original one when I first hit the share button, and now I've got this one. So I can upload that to Facebook or what have you, or edit it. However, editing it will close the other application if I'm not mistaken. So that's basically how simple it is to share. It's pretty handy, except the quality is complete crap compared to what you're seeing right here. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a look at what happens when you press the PlayStation button. So here you go. You're taken straight back to the user interface. Now, what I wanted to show you, and I believe I show you right now, is what happens when you press it twice. Or maybe not. Yeah, okay, here you go. So you see I'm in notifications, right? I think I did it so quick. Yeah, I did it so quick I just missed the entire thing. But basically what happens is when you double tap on the PlayStation button, it basically takes you back to whatever last task you were doing. If you press it once, it goes straight to the dashboard. You do it twice and you can just switch between multiple applications, and that's handy because if you wanted to have, like, let's say a strategy guide or something like that open, you could go ahead and do that. So now we're going to switch gears and look at the Xbox One's dashboard. Okay, the Xbox One's dashboard is very similar to the dashboard from the Xbox 360 or Windows 8. So this is Kinect basically telling me, hi Jared, we see you, and this is it. You'll notice right away it's not quite as streamlined as the PlayStation 4's. It's a tile-based system, so there's much more going on at any given time. That's where on the left there, you'll see that's like your main access to where all your information is, so your profile, friends, followers, messages, achievements, and the game DVR. I don't go into detail with the game DVR here, only because you have to activate it through the snap feature or through the options itself, whereas with Sony's it's just a simple button press. I'm sure they're going to fix all of this up in time, but here's what Snap is. Snap is an overlay that goes over whatever you're doing. So you see, I can snap different applications. So Party Chat, Internet Explorer, Xbox Video, what have you. The idea is, like with Internet Explorer, for example, I'd be able to go ahead and snap, say, like a strategy guide. So it's similar to what the PlayStation 4 does. Difference being here that the snap is active over your game. You don't have to, like, not exit out the game, but you don't have to go to a completely different screen. However, I show you in a little bit that it's really tiny. Now those were your pins. Those are applications that you can pin, and what you pin can be then snapped. This is the marketplace or the store. You can speak or you can type whatever you want. So I just put in Rise here, give you an idea. I know it's all over the place, guys, and I'm sorry about that. It's just I'm just trying to give you a very loose overview of how these two systems, their user interfaces work. Now, if you notice, I keep going back to this, right? Like I'll be in something and then I'll just snap back to this. And how I'm doing that is I'm pressing the Xbox button, and that automatically takes you back to the dashboard, but keeps whatever you were doing in your active window. All right. But for most things, they'll just cycle. Like Dead Rising is still open. If I were to click that little icon, I would actually go back to the game. But instead, I want to show you how the snap feature works. So even though I'm inside the marketplace, I decided to open Internet Explorer, and I'm going to write projectcoe.com and just show you how that works. Now, I can snap on anything I'm doing. So if I was watching a movie, if I was listening to music, if I was playing a video game, I could always do this snap. The downside is it keeps your active window active. In other words, if you're playing a game, you can't, like, you'd have to pause the game first because that doesn't automatically pause it when you snap. Now, the thing I don't know is how to snap back easily without doing that, what you just saw, where I have to basically unsnap through the dashboard. I'm sure you can do it through Connect, but I'm not sure how that works like this. Now, one of the worst features is what you're seeing right here, is when I want to start a party. It's very simple. I say, go into party. I click on the person I want to invite, but what's stupid is you then have to go and say, turn on party chat. Well, isn't that sort of self-explanatory? If I invite someone into my party, shouldn't it automatically say, hey, yeah, you want to talk? So that's kind of stupid. I don't know why that wasn't built in, but whatever. So anyways, keep going, looking at different things. I haven't connected anything into my Xbox just yet in terms of like a cable box or things like that. But you'll notice that these little tile things move all over the place. Like you'll notice it's cycling, right? So now, like Dead Rising, it was to the left before, now it's to the right. That's one of the things that I was saying where, yeah, I find it very cumbersome because, like, these little icons don't necessarily stay still. They sometimes go all over the damn place. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but in the store there was this thing where it said, like, redeem a code type thing, and you could actually hold up little QR codes, and I love that. Connect will actually see that and go ahead and activate whatever it is that you're trying to redeem. So this is your games and your apps. And again, it works very similar to the PlayStation 4 where it just lists all your stuff. But now I'm going in and I'm going to show you in the options or system settings, there's no way to actually check out your data management. So you have no idea how much storage you actually have left. You can delete games by going into My Games and Apps, finding the game that you want, and then pressing on, well, what used to be the start button. And you'll see there's an option for uninstalling the game. However, that doesn't really tell you much when you don't know how much storage you have left. So anyways, time to boot up a game and show you just how you can just swap back and forth in to the user interface. Killer Instinct's actually one of the really good titles from the launch lineup. It does feel a little bit cheap in the sense that it's like heavy on microtransactions, but you know, at the end of the day, it is a free game. You only get Jago, but still, the fact is, it is free. You can try it out. You can mess around with the awesome training mode. I think it's called the Dojo, and if you like what you play, you can then go ahead and buy the game for $20 or like go crazy and spend $40 and get like the Ultimate Edition. So anyways, this is basically Killer Instinct.
Welcome.
I thought this was pretty funny that Orchid and the other characters don't actually load in. I just pick the color and go. I thought that was kind of classic. But there's a little bit of loading here. I know most people for fighting games, you want it like, you know, lickety-split. That's one of the things I've noticed with some of the Xbox One launch titles. There's actually a fair amount of loading to begin with. Once you're in, it's not too bad. Like Dead Rising 3 has quite a lot of loading at the onset, but afterwards it's really good. There's also the fact with the game installations that is really odd. For a disc-based game, it's really unusual. Anyways, I hit the Xbox button there. Now, you won't see the graphic actually move, but you notice how there it just said pause menu? That's because it actually continues to play while you're gone, and it acts like a pause button when you press the Xbox button. So now, like, I'm gonna say, okay, let's say I want to go and just see. I just thought of something. Oh, I want a season pass for some show. Well, my game is just basically suspended now in the background, and I can go ahead and I can pretty much do anything I want. I haven't really actually found something. I guess if I watched a movie, it would cancel my game or something like that. But you see, now I just press the Xbox button again, and I can hit Killer Instinct, and I'll be right back where I was, paused, and now I can go ahead and just play for like 1 or 2 seconds. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Really like the D-pad on the Xbox One compared to the other ones. Steven was telling me like how he found that it still felt like a 360 one, but I'm not sure if he's played anything just yet. So yeah, there we go. I just pressed the Xbox button again, went down here. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more searching for something, and like I could go ahead and purchase this or whatever, and that's pretty much that. I just, like I say, I'm not too keen on the fact that the icons move so that they're not always in the same place. Now, obviously, by loading Dead Rising 3 here, I have canceled Killer Instinct. So now if I press the Xbox button, which I do, and I go down to Killer Instinct, obviously Killer Instinct's not going to load. It's not going to load, but it's no longer suspended. It's going to reboot itself, which obviously that makes perfect sense. Can't have 2 games running at once here. So that's pretty much the Xbox One's interface. Whether or not you like it, if you find it cumbersome, if it's better or worse than the PlayStation 4's, that's entirely up to you. But one thing that I found disappointing on both consoles is the fact that I can't use my own multimedia. So I find that ridiculous. Like, if I already have like movies and things like that I've personally backed up, I can't watch them on the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. And that's really odd considering the fact that, well, especially in the Xbox One's case, it's marketed as your one, like, you know, entertainment box. But right now, that's far from the truth. So guys, that was a look at the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4's user interface, and just doing a really quick overview of the two. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.